This is Michael Wilson. We're looking at finding hope in Exodus 2. Let's do it, my friends. Exodus 2 tells the story of how Moses, the leader of the Israelites, was born and how he was raised in Egypt, and then how he fled to Midian after killing an Egyptian. The chapter also shows how God heard the cry of his people who were suffering under slavery and oppression. So the chapter begins with the birth of Moses, and he was a descendant of Levi, one of the sons of Jacob. His mother hid him for 3 months because the Pharaoh had ordered to kill all the Hebrew baby boys. When she could no longer hide him, she put him in a basket and placed it among the reeds by the Nile River. His sister Miriam watched over him from a distance. And then Pharaoh's daughter came to bathe at the Nile and saw the basket. She opened it and found the baby crying. So she felt pity on him, as anyone would, and realized that he was a Hebrew child. Miriam approached her and offered to find a Hebrew nurse for the baby. Pharaoh's daughter agreed, and Miriam brought her own mother, who was also Moses' mother. So the Pharaoh's daughter paid her to nurse the child and later adopted him as her own son. She named him Moses, which means drawn out, because she drew him out of the water. So the chapter then skips to when Moses was grown up. He went out to see his fellow Hebrews and their hard labor. He witnessed an Egyptian beating a Hebrew slave and killed him after making sure no one was watching. The next day, he saw two Hebrews fighting and tried to stop them. One of them asked him who made him a ruler and judge over them, and whether he intended to kill them as he had killed the Egyptian. Moses realized that his deed was known and feared for his life. So Pharaoh heard about what Moses had done and tried to kill him. Moses escaped from Pharaoh and fled to the land of Midian, where he sat by a well. There he met the 7 daughters of Reuel, the priest of Midian, who came to draw water from their father's flock. Some shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock for them. So the daughters returned to their father and told him about the Egyptian who saved them from the shepherds. Reuel invited Moses to stay with him and eventually gave him his daughter Zipporah as his wife. She bore him a son, and when he named him Gershom, which means a stranger there, because he said, I have been a stranger in a foreign land. So this chapter ends with a brief mention of how God heard the groaning of the Israelites under their bondage to Egypt, and how he remembered his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And God saw their situation and took notice. That is some mighty good news, brothers and sisters. God notices our burdens and through his covenant with us, seeks to always make them right. Praise God.